Hey, Aubrey, how are you today?
I'm great, Lindsay. How are you?
Good. Aubrey, do you prefer a day that is run of the mill, or would you rather have a day that's out of the ordinary? What kind of day would you like to
Ooh.
have in general?
I love a day that's out of the ordinary, right? I am
Yeah.
not a fan of a run-of-the-mill day. I want it to something to be different, switch it up, something exciting to happen. What about you, Lindsay?
It's true. It's kind of the feeling I get when I come back from a trip, when all of my days have been so different from my typical days at home. I've been maybe traveling abroad, different food, different air, different temperature, different people, different languages. It feels so alive. That's what makes you feel
Right.
alive, Aubrey,
And
right?
then we get back to the routine. It's kind of like
Yeah.
same old, the humdrum of the daily routine.
Yeah, but I don't actually mind my daily routine either. We get to podcast. I mean, it's kind of awesome. So,
That's true. We rarely have a run-of-the-mill day, right? There's usually
no, yeah.
something out of the ordinary, exciting and different happening at All Ears English, so that helps that our daily routine is pretty fun.
That's for sure. So, this has been some great vocabulary that we're kind of hinting out for the episode. I'm going to go ahead and read the question. This came in from YouTube, and we do have a really nice YouTube channel. If you prefer to watch this podcast, you can do that, guys. Go over to YouTube, type in All Ears English. All right. This is
Awesome.
from M. Hashemi 7976. Shall I go ahead and read it, Aubrey?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. They said, "Hi, dear Lindsay and Michelle and Aubrey. I'm Milad from Hashemi. Milad Hashemi from Iran. Could you explore the expression run of the mill, its origin, meaning, and how it's typically used in both professional and casual contexts? I'm especially curious about how to use it naturally without sounding overly formal and outdated." Love
Such
it.
a great question. And I love that Milad is thinking about all of this, right? Not just
Me too.
what's it mean? How do I use it? But is it outdated? Can I still use it? In what context? So, yeah, we're going to get into all of this today.
Yeah, these are all really important questions to be asking. So I'm glad you're asking it. Where does this word, this phrase, run of the mill, where does it originate from?
Yeah, this originates from the industrial world. So it's
Okay.
referring to mills that produced goods like textiles or grain. So it initially referred to like average standard output of a mill before
Yeah.
there was any quality control, sorting, or improvements. So, sort of describing all these goods that were average, not special or unique, because that's what it means, run of the mill, something that's just average, it hasn't been approved upon in any way.
Okay. Yeah. The part of the country where I'm from, New England, has a lot of mills. I don't know if there are more than the rest of the country, but every town in New England, including the one where my parents live now, Dover, New Hampshire, you go there and there's an old mill, right? That they've remade into apartment buildings or shops,
Mm.
lofts, artist lofts, that kind of thing. And it's just really ingrained in New England. It's really interesting.
Interesting. I think it
Yeah,
is more common in New England.
I think
That
so.
does not happen here very often, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But every now and then, there's an apartment complex where I went to college called Old Mill. And this was in the West in Utah,
Okay. Yeah.
and they said that there used to be an old mill there, and so they called the complex Old Mill.
It's probably due to, the industry that was going on and the landscape. I think in the West, it's more right, farming, I guess, and
Right?
different
Exactly.
based
Not a
on
lot
the
of
land.
manufacturing. Hmm.
For sure. Yeah. Super interesting. All right. Where's the best place for our listeners to listen to the podcast?
Oh man, definitely on our app. We have a free app, the All Ears English app. You can get it at allearsenglish.com/app. And for premium members, we have so many great bonuses, transcripts that are human created transcripts and tappable keywords. We choose each week, each episode rather, the most useful keywords for you. And you can create a personal vocabulary list there and then remove keywords once you have them part of your active vocabulary. It's really the best way to listen to the podcast.
Exactly. I mean, what's the alternative when you listen to the show, writing down keywords on pieces of paper and then you lose them? And how will you keep track of everything in one place? That happens inside the app. So go to allearsenglish.com/app and we have one for iOS and Android. So
Yes, let us make
excellent.
it easy for you.
Yes,
Definitely.
you got it. All right, let's go into a bit deeper into run of the mill.
Yeah,
right?
let's give you some examples. So this just means, like we said, ordinary, common,
Yeah.
average.
Mhm.
So an example might be they didn't choose that school because it's very run of the mill. They're looking for
Mm.
something exceptional. This reminds me of living in New York City and everyone who had kids just getting to elementary school. They were like interviewing school administrators. They
Yeah.
wanted something where their child was going to be the best and brightest, right?
Yeah, it's so true. Or I don't want to get her a run of the mill gift. That this makes me think of blue jeans a little bit because the way we think of blue jeans here, like American blue jeans, is very run of the mill. Like they're just average clothing. But I'm not sure if this is true anymore. Our listeners will have to tell us. But I feel like a few years ago, 10 years ago, in Europe, blue jeans were considered more expensive, more like more desirable clothing. But I feel like here they're just blue jeans. They're just average
That's
clothing.
true. I remember this when I had an
Yeah.
exchange student and she was buying all of these Levi's jeans to
Yeah,
like take home to
Levi's.
friends. I think they were cheaper in the US, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and
really
then
cheap.
just cool that she had bought them in the States maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if that's the case as much
Not sure.
anymore
Not sure.
now that
Yeah.
it's easier to buy things online to get
Yeah.
whatever you could want, but once upon a time, yeah, like that was the
Levi's
hot
were a big
commodity.
deal. Yeah. Levi's are pretty run of the mill here, I would say. Although I had a
Mhm.
pair of Levi's and I loved my Levi's. They're comfortable, but they're pretty
Yeah.
like run of the mill, right? In
Yeah.
terms of
So I want
jeans.
to answer the other questions quickly here. Run of the mill, I could totally see how someone might think this were outdated because it is
Yeah.
kind of from an older time, the mill, and we
Mhm.
don't hear it super often, right? You will still hear it. You absolutely can use it. It is a little bit less common, but when I hear it, I don't think like that's outdated language. That person's older,
Yes.
right? It doesn't feel
Yes. No.
outdated to me. What do you think, Lindsay?
I 100% agree. This is not one of those words that's going to date you, right?
Right. And I think
It
you could definitely use it in everyday conversations, like both of these examples,
Mhm.
right? We're looking for a school that's not run of the mill, a gift that's not run of the mill, but then
Mhm.
also at work for sure. We would use this in a professional context too, right? I don't want to work for a company that's run of the mill. It's just a fun
Mhm.
way to say average, boring, or ordinary.
Boring, ordinary. Yes. And another way to say that is garden variety. Yeah. So ordinary or commonplace, right?
Yeah, I love this. You might say, this is just your basic garden variety sofa. Let's find
Mhm.
something more unique. It's funny because it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with a garden, like the
Nothing to
literal
do with
meaning has maybe, but we use this idiomatically just to mean very common, not
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah. Or I'm looking for a garden variety car. I care a lot more about safety than appearance, right? So getting a functional car, a practical car. I've
Exactly,
also
right? You don't want a sports car. You're just looking for something garden variety, very average.
I've also heard it being used in creative ways, like when people talk about like mental health, like garden variety
Mm,
anxiety is something that just
mm.
everyday anxiety versus something more serious. It can be used in a lot of ways to address the seriousness or I guess the intensity or the uniqueness of a situation or a condition.
That's
Okay.
a really good point. Yes, we
Yeah.
definitely use it that way. We'll use it to describe a book. If someone we're reading a book and someone asks if we would recommend it, we might say it's just kind of your garden variety thriller. We're saying like it's
Yeah.
really not that unique or special. I don't know if I would recommend it.
Kind of generic, nothing
Yep.
special about it, nothing extreme about it. Yeah. Good one. Okay. What
And
else?
then you just used this one, I
I
think. We also
did. Did
say
I?
special, and that just came out of you very
Look at
naturally,
that. We're
right?
learning
Just
real
again,
English here. Yeah.
exactly. Ordinary, average. Maybe you'll say, this restaurant's nothing special. I doubt we'll come back.
Or we could say, I wasn't able to spend a lot of time on my research paper, so it ended up being nothing special. Okay.
Yes, I love that
Yes.
one. And I'm curious if this one is as familiar to you, Lindsay.
Oh, yeah.
I hear this a lot in the West. We
Oh,
say
yeah.
nothing to write home about means
Yeah. I love this
ordinary,
one.
average. Yeah, same.
Definitely. I love this one, actually. It's really fun. This is
It
fun.
is fun.
Maybe I'm not sure where it originates. Maybe it
Well, I'm
originates from
imagining like letter writing maybe during,
war
World War
times.
One when
That's what
people
I was
were
thinking too.
writing a letter home. And if nothing exciting had happened, I have nothing to write home about.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking
Makes
from
sense.
war times, probably World War One. Yeah, really
Mhm.
fascinating. So, for example, the date was okay, but nothing to write home about. I doubt we'll go out again.
Right.
Nice.
So you can see this doesn't actually have anything to do about writing letters home. You just
Right.
mean nothing special, nothing exciting.
What else?
And this is one I say a lot. My volleyball serve is nothing to write home about. I say this with pickleball too, because you can choose who serves first, and the other person that first round won't be able to serve. So I'll
Uh,
often let my partner serve, and I'll be like, my serve's
oh,
consistent, but it's nothing to write home about. So I'll let them serve first.
interesting. Okay. Yeah, yeah, you gotta know. I mean, that's in tennis too. It's important to know, is your strength your serve or your
Right.
return? And you would be very
Exactly.
strategic about deciding, are you gonna serve first? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Aubrey, role play time. So we are college students discussing our courses. All
All
right.
right. I'll start us out. I love that we're young. I love when sometimes in our role plays, I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I'm going
Let's
to
be
make us
young.
college
Let's be
students.
college kids again. I love it.
Right. All right. I'll start us. How are you liking your biology course?
It's all right. The teacher is just your garden variety science teacher.
Sounds like my statistics teacher. His lectures are definitely nothing to write home about.
Is it Mr. Martin's? Yeah, I had her too, and oh,
Her,
Mister,
looks like I
I
changed a
had
name
him
at some
too,
point. I
and
had
the
him
course
too.
was nothing special. Run of the mill assignments and a lot of reading from the textbook. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, this happens, right? I had teachers
Yeah.
like this, just garden variety teachers that not really
Yeah.
exciting lectures.
And I kind of feel like, to be honest, I feel like lately movies have been kind of like this. I
Mm,
don't know. I recently watched, do you ever see the movie With Honors? From the
no, I did
90s? Do
not.
you know that? It's a really great movie.
Oh,
And
wait, is Brendan Fraser in it? I did see it.
Brendan
Yes.
Fraser. It's about a guy who takes in a homeless man at Harvard. He's a Harvard student. He gets to know the homeless man. I was bawling at the end, and I cannot
Oh,
remember a movie that's gotten me to tears in the last couple of years. New movie, I don't know, it's just something about it. I feel like a lot of them are kind of run of the mill these days. But
yes, they're
those
not as
old movies,
heartfelt.
yeah, they're not as heartfelt, but those movies
I
from the
agree.
90s, really, I was, like, really crying after that.
I agree, and that doesn't
Yeah.
happen much anymore. It might be interesting, it might be thrilling, but it's rare that I'm
Yeah.
going to be sobbing.
The depth of the plots or just the you're right, it's the heartfelt
Yeah.
nature is not there in some
You
of
know
these
which
movies.
film you probably saw this as well. The last time I really cried in a film was Harriet, the film about Harriet Tubman.
I don't think I've
That was
seen it yet.
fantastic,
Ah,
and, I'm trying to think of her name. She was Elphaba in the new Wicked film as well.
okay.
Fantastic actress, and I just really and I mean,
Yeah.
based on history that is also so you've already got that when it's
Yeah.
historical,
Yep.
you already
Mhm.
feel the power of these are things that really happened, and I sobbed in the movie theater.
Yeah, there are some exceptions like that one, right? That will just really tug on your heartstrings. But I
But it
feel
is
like a
more
lot
rare
of
for
what's
sure.
coming out is just kinda like, meh.
Yeah, meh.
You know?
I agree.
I
Okay,
don't know
let's go
what's
through
going
this.
on
So
with
you
that.
first, I'm asking about your biology course, and you
Yeah.
said the teacher's just your garden variety science teacher. So this is
Yes.
a fun way to say just kind of average, common, just nothing exciting, garden
Yeah,
variety.
garden variety, and then his lectures are definitely nothing to write home about, right? So
Right. So you're, and our equivalent now might be, we wouldn't call when we're talking to mom, she's home. We're not gonna be like, my, biology professor is the best. It's so
no.
interesting. Back in the old days, it would be in a letter that you'd have to write.
Oh, yeah, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, a
Uh-huh.
letter. Wow. All right, and then what did I say
And
after
then
that?
the run of the mill here. Yeah, so you said I
Yeah,
had her too, and the course was nothing special,
nothing
and then run of the
special,
mill
little
assignments, right? So just
assignments,
kind
and a
of
lot of reading.
average, nothing fun, nothing exciting to complete.
Yeah, I mean, what should we do, Aubrey, if our lives are feeling run of the mill? What is some life advice? What should we
Good
do
question,
to
right? You
insert
gotta figure out
energy?
how to switch it up, right? Whether it's at
Yeah,
work or in your daily life,
yeah,
if everything's run of the mill garden variety, I think there are things that you can do
yeah.
to go do something unexpected, something you've never done.
Yeah, and I think it's also the little changes we can make. Like, if you walk your dog, do you always follow the exact same route? I think the human mind tends to do that, but what if every time you walk your dog, you create a different route, right? Little
Yeah.
changes you could make in your day that would create a more of a sense of vibrancy in your life. Yeah?
Yes, I love that. And then writing in a gratitude journal, scroll up if you missed it. We were just talking about
Yes.
grateful versus thankful. Something
Mhm.
like that could really make a difference in how whether your day feels run of the mill or not.
Yeah, so add gratitude to variety, and you've got a good recipe for success there. I
I
love it.
agree. I love that
All
recipe for
right.
success.
All right, good stuff. Guys, don't forget the best place to listen to the podcast is in the iOS or Android app because there you have a chance to get the premium features. Go to allearsenglish.com/app. All right.
Yes, awesome.
Good
You can
stuff.
also search keywords there to access our archives. That's
That's
the
true.
best place to search for old episodes too.
That's a good point, Aubrey. That's another thing that you can't do in Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Right,
And you can't even do that in our website anymore because we're not blogging on every single topic. So
right.
go to the app and use that as a huge search bar to search every episode. All right. Good
Awesome.
stuff.
So
Okay.
fun.
Great. Aubrey, talk to you soon.
Yep. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.